Hello, my name is Reagan. I haven't really been on here with my actual face. I've just been on with my typing fingers. But I just wanted to talk about this week's content. I really thought it was interesting because I love studying attitudes and behaviors, especially related to that of millennials and like young people. I work in like ministry with a lot of young people, so I really like looking at how media affects that. And I'm really excited about learning more about user-centered design and how that affects young people as well, because everything's changing and it's really hard to keep up. And so I thought that was interesting this week, reading about burnout and how millennials face that a lot, because media has just become so saturated and it's hard to even find something that's like good or new or a breakthrough because there's just so much. So to answer some of the discussion questions about what kind of information I would use for users seeking to understand their relationship to like the user's relationship to burnout and just everyday life, I think that I would use surveys the most, because this relates to attitudinal research, and I feel like a similar theme in a lot of my other classes has been what's like the motive behind what you're doing. And I feel like if you can pinpoint a motive, you can really look at something further in depth. So I would choose surveys because it relates to attitudinal research, and this explores users' attitude towards the change that like the design has made. This is on page 14 in the Edges piece, which I really enjoyed. They state that users at some time explore general customer satisfaction, gauge interest in planned or new services, resources or events, or gather customer opinions on just about anything. Surveys can be long, involved, and broad. Just going through describing surveys and why I think that surveys would work the best with like our current media and trying to learn more information is because I feel like things that are designed like that have worked in the past, and right now things are just constantly changing and people want to do things in a fast way rather than like interviews. When I think interviews, I think of like something that takes a lot longer time and a lot longer thought, and especially if this is like in a media sense anyways, I feel like people are going to be wanting to answer questions quickly and fast. And something that I relate this to is like personality tests or Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, or like even Disney quizzes, BuzzFeed, things that you can test about yourself. I enjoy doing those just in my free time. So I feel like rather than it being something like, oh, let's do this for research, I feel like surveys bring the approach of let's look at this from a design standpoint, that it's going to bring us research, but from a user standpoint, it's kind of a fun thing because you get to fill out something. Like even for assignments, if I see that that I need to fill out a Google Doc, I'm like, oh, okay, like I want to do that more than, type out a discussion or like how I feel about a topic. I would way rather just like fill out a would you rather, true, false, or scale type of thing on a Google Doc or a survey. And what kinds of questions would I ask? I think that I would ask questions related to finding out information about burnout, like how many times a day do you check your social media accounts? This would be more open-ended, but you could also have closed-ended answers like 5 to 10, not at all, once a day or whatever. Either way, I think that you could have some useful results. Um, I also could ask like a would you rather be at home on social media or out with friends with like no phones at all. Um, I think that this is like a really big thing for designers to discover about users right now because there's a big group of young people that are really just like fine with staying at home and have become really antisocial, and it's actually kind of scary because of like they're fine and with not even being social, and it's really decreased like social skills and um like kids getting their license nowadays. Like it's just the rates have decreased, and I know I'm getting into a lot that doesn't have a lot to do with burnout, but in a sense it does because it just shows how saturated the media is. Some other questions I could ask are what is the latest app you've downloaded? Are you satisfied with it? And make that like a scale on the survey. And then who would I ask? I probably could create two different surveys, one being like ages 12 to 18 or 20, and then another one like 18 to maybe 35 or 20 to 35. And why? Because I think that dividing these age groups, these age groups have experienced extremely different things in media growing up. So quite simply, the results would just be different, and it would kind of be biased if you just mush them all together. So, yeah, I think that it'd be really cool to craft a survey, more than user interviews or any other of the research methods they talk about, like focus groups or whatever. I just think, from my personal opinion, that surveys would work the best, and because I would want to fill one out, but also I think that because of these reasons, that users would also want to fill them out, and we would get the most information from this as well. So thanks for listening, and can't wait to watch all the other responses.